Hi everyone, it's Clément from Les Résumés. Today, we're embarking on an incredible journey filled with betrayal, love, and revenge with the captivating story of the Count of Monte Cristo. You know, that work by Alexandre Dumas that inspired a film directed by Alexandre de la Patellière and Mathieu Delaporte, starring Pierre Ninet as the Count. But no film reviews today. We're going to concentrate on the original work by Alexandre Dumas, who also wrote The Three Musketeers. We'll be following Edmond Dantès, the young sailor whose life changes completely in an instant. Ready? 3, 2, 1, action. Edmond Dantès disembarks from the ship. He chats with his employer, the ship owner Morel, then heads off to meet his father. The reunion is short but intense because Edmond is anxious to see his fiancée, Mercedes. Edmond visits Mercedes, his beloved wife, but he is not the only one. Fernand, consumed by jealousy, tries to convince Mercedes to marry him. However, Mercedes' love for Edmond is unwavering, and that's when things start to get complicated. Danglars, jealous of Edmond's success, teams up with Fernand. Together, they devise a terrible plan to get rid of him. During Edmond and Mercedes' engagement, everything changes. Edmond is arrested, accused of Bonapartist conspiracy. Villefort, the deputy prosecutor, takes charge of the case. To protect his career, Villefort decides to betray Edmond and sends him to the Château d'If, a grim prison in the middle of the sea. At the Château d'If, Edmond is in despair, but he doesn't remain alone for long. He meets Abbé Faria, another prisoner, who becomes his mentor and friend. The abbé teaches him everything he knows and even reveals the existence of a hidden treasure on the island of Monte Cristo. With the abbé's help, Edmond prepares his escape. However, the abbé dies before they can flee. Edmond, now even more determined, uses this loss to strengthen his resolve. He devises a bold plan to escape by hiding in the abbé's burial sack. Edmond arrives on the island of Monte Cristo and discovers the fabulous treasure of Cardinal Spada. With this fortune, he becomes a free and wealthy man, and above all, ready to take revenge on those who betrayed him. Edmond returns to Marseille, but he is no longer the naive young sailor he once was. Under various disguises, he begins investigating his former enemies. Disguised as Abbé Busoni, he visits Caderousse and uncovers the full extent of the betrayal. Edmond discovers that the Morel family, once prosperous, is now on the brink of ruin. Grateful for Morel's kindness, Edmond, under another disguise, secretly helps the family avoid bankruptcy. Morel is saved just in time, and the family's gratitude towards Edmond is immense. Under the name Count of Monte Cristo, Edmond arrives in Paris. Through Albert, he enters the circles of Parisian high society. It is there that he begins to plan his revenge against those who betrayed him. The Count of Monte Cristo uses his new connections to get closer to Danglars, Fernand, and Villefort. He begins to orchestrate their downfall, manipulating events so that their own greed and dishonesty destroy them. At an opera, Haydée, a young woman in the Count's entourage, recognizes Fernand as the man who betrayed her father. This revelation marks the beginning of the end for Fernand, as Monte Cristo continues to pull the strings behind the scenes. The Fernand's son, Albert, discovers the truth about his father and challenges Monte Cristo to a duel. But thanks to the intervention of Mercedes, the duel is avoided. She begs the Count to spare her son, and Monte Cristo, touched by Mercedes' maternal love, accepts. In a final move, Monte Cristo exposes Villefort during Benedetto's trial, revealing the prosecutor's hidden crimes. Villefort is ruined, his reputation destroyed, and he must face the consequences of his actions. Monte Cristo's revenge is finally complete. After destroying his enemies, he realizes that revenge has not brought him the peace he had hoped for. He leaves Paris with Maximilien, ready for a new beginning, far from hatred and betrayal. The Count of Monte Cristo finally finds redemption and inner peace, leaving his painful past behind. And there you have it, the summary is finally complete, but we will continue by introducing each character from the novel. Let's begin with our protagonist, Edmond Dantès. An honest and loving young sailor, Dantès' life takes a dramatic turn when he is falsely accused of treason. After years of captivity, Dantès escapes, discovers a hidden treasure, and returns under the identity of the Count of Monte Cristo, determined to take revenge on those who betrayed him. Did you know? Alexandre Dumas was inspired by a true story to create Edmond Dantès. The shoemaker François Picot, who was falsely accused of espionage, also sought revenge after being imprisoned. The Count of Monte Cristo is the embodiment of cold, calculated revenge. Under this new identity, Dantès uses his intelligence and wealth to orchestrate the downfall of his enemies. But behind this coldness lies immense pain and a soul tormented by years of injustice. Lord Wilmore is another identity adopted by Dantès. Through this eccentric character, Dantès displays his generosity in contrast to the cruelty of the Count of Monte Cristo. It's interesting to note that even Monte Cristo views Lord Wilmore as his own enemy, symbolizing the internal struggle between his desire for revenge and his moments of compassion. As Abbé Busoni, Dantès uses the power of faith to gain the trust of his enemies and manipulate events in his favor. This identity allows him to play on others' superstitions and beliefs, adding an extra layer to his complex strategy of revenge. Sinbad the Sailor is another facet of Dantès. This mysterious and adventurous identity is used for acts of secret generosity, such as when he saves the business of his former employer, Morel. Mercedes, Dantès' loving fiancée, is one of the collateral victims of Fernand Mondégo's betrayal, Dantès' rival for her heart. Fernand, jealous and ambitious, takes part in the plot against Dantès and eventually marries Mercedes after Dantès' imprisonment. Albert, the son of Fernand and Mercedes, embodies innocence in this tale of revenge. Unlike his father, he is brave, honest, and honorable. Abbé Faria is an intelligent priest whom Dantès meets in prison and who becomes his intellectual mentor. It's thanks to him that Dantès discovers the treasure that will allow him to become the Count of Monte Cristo. Did you know? Abbé Faria is inspired by a real Portuguese priest who was imprisoned at the Château d'If for his radical ideas. Baron Danglars is a greedy and jealous ally of Mondego. He is one of the main conspirators against Dantès. His wife, Madame Danglars, and their daughter Eugénie add to the complexity of the plot with their own ambitions and secrets. Gérard de Villefort is the ruthless prosecutor who condemns Dantès without remorse, representing the embodiment of judicial corruption and overwhelming ambition. The Count of Monte Cristo is the story of a young sailor destined for a brilliant career and a happy marriage with his beloved Mercedes. But this dream is brutally interrupted by a heinous betrayal. 4 men, Danglars, Fernand, Caderousse, and Villefort, out of jealousy, cowardice, and corruption, conspire to have Dantès accused of a crime he did not commit. This false imprisonment becomes the catalyst for the plot, introducing us to the central themes of justice and revenge. The injustice suffered by Dantès robs him of everything he holds dear: his career, his freedom, and his fiancée. It is this devastating sense of injustice that drives Dantès down the path of revenge, a desire that fuels his actions throughout the novel. In The Count of Monte Cristo, identity is a central theme that constantly evolves. Edmond Dantès, a master of disguise, adopts several identities to carry out his revenge: the Count of Monte Cristo, Abbé Busoni, Sinbad the Sailor, and Lord Wilmore. These transformations can be seen as manifestations of his quest for justice and redemption. Each identity allows him to play a different role in his complex strategy to punish those who betrayed him. His 14 years of imprisonment and the discovery of the Monte Cristo treasure are crucial moments that not only turn Dantès into a man thirsty for revenge, but also into a brilliant strategist capable of manipulating those who once manipulated him. However, The Count of Monte Cristo isn't just a novel of revenge, it's also a love story. Dantès' love for his fiancée Mercedes and his desire for justice for his family are the deep motivations behind his quest for vengeance. This duality between love and revenge is what makes the story so captivating. Dumas shows us that vengeance and redemption are often motivated by love. For Dantès, each act of revenge is also a way to mourn the lost love and seek to regain it. The Count of Monte Cristo is much more than a simple tale of revenge. It's a profound exploration of justice, personal transformation, and love. Alexandre Dumas invites us to reflect on human motivations and what drives a person to seek redemption or revenge. And that's it. We've reached the end of this book review. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. For more captivating summaries like this one, visit lesresumes.com. See you soon for a new literary adventure.